Hi guys, welcome if you're new and welcome back for the people who've been listening to the Young podcast. Thank you. I know kuna watu kadhaa that they sent me that they're listening to my stories and zinawabamba here and there. And today I wanted to cover a bit of the feedback that I've gotten back from people who have listened to the story that I shared earlier. It's in 3 parts. I didn't know it would be that long, but I'm glad I was able to um, give my story as it is. Yeah, so today is a Monday. Today nasikia nimechoka, na kabla sijamaliza kuchoka nasikia tu nikianza kuchoka tena. Given it's a Monday, it's when you're starting the week. It's just leo nimechoka ile kabisa. Watu wanasema fatigue na nini. I am tired. I am tired. Mentally, I feel drained. I am just tired. Ile tu nimechoka. But sikuchoka kwa ubaya. The whole of last week was crazy busy. And then the weekend, when you're supposed to at least relax, we had an activation. So we have real jobs. We had an activation, so hiyo nayo na tulimaliza late juu ya mvua, so hata kuna time ya kurest. So today on Monday I wanted to rest kidogo, but wapi, you have meetings, you have virtual calls, you have clients who need to clear sijui what because they're coming next weekend. So I'm just tired, but I didn't want today to go to a waste because I know today we didn't post anything on the Young podcast. And yeah, sikuwa nataka ikae bila, but ni ile episode yenye ilipotea audio, and I'm just too tired to redo that audio again and have it ready. And yesterday I was also too tired to do anything, like ile tu uko exhausted. Today was an emotional day. Anyway, today the topic for today after rambling, the topic for today was like I said, I wanted to react to the feedback I've gotten from different people who've listened to the story, na what my thoughts are on this. And also towards the end, I'll make sure I've mentioned a few things on the reason why I didn't want to talk about this topic, gauged on the feedback that I've gotten. And please remember, even when I'm giving these stories, even when I'm giving my feedback, no matter what the scenario is, I'm just giving my point of view of everything that happened around me. Enye ilifanya I got to the point where I got to. And nakwambia, I'm not sure why, because every time I start recording, ni kama kunaanza kuwa na competition who can be the loudest. I don't know if it's skia. That thing wasn't making noise for the whole time I've been sitting here. But saizi hadi gari zimeanza kutoa alarms and whatnot. Anyway, like what I was saying was, my story, giving my scared sufuria za watu ndio zimeamua kuanguka. Anyway, me giving my story is just giving people a point of view of how I got to the point where I got to. It's not about saying negative things about the people that were around me, the people who are willing to help or anything like that. Even with this feedback, his story na nini, listening to what the people that know me ama knew me your period, vitu wamekuja kuniambia later on, like after listening to their stories, it's not a negative reaction to them. I'm just planning to expound on a few things here and there. Na sasa hiyo ndio itatuguide to the point where I really didn't want to have this discussion. And the funny thing is I decided to have the discussion with the public rather than even the people that know me for the start, because wengi hawakuwa wanajua what was happening and they didn't know what I was going through. So yeah, I think that is that. Now the first one imekuwa after listening to the stories on YouTube. By the way, we are on YouTube, we are on TikTok, we are on Twitter, we are on podcast, Spotify. The challenge imekuwa Instagram. I don't know why they don't want me to open an account on Instagram. But anyway, we are on those sites, all of them. Na kuna my friends from the different sites wamesikiza and then they got back to me. The first one was, you don't look like someone who have gone through the things that you're saying. And You don't look it. And the funny thing is, even when I was going through depression, I think hapa sasa nita combine vitu mbili. I think the other challenge was when I was going through it, to a lot of people, I didn't come off as someone, like I said in I think episode 2, Amani 3. Yeah, like the depiction for what depression is in society, you have to be gloomy all the time. You have to be wearing like 94 jackets. I'm not saying I didn't wear them, but it wasn't a constant thing that to the point that someone would notice, huyu amevalia jacket kumi na kuna jua. No, for the depiction for what depression is, or someone who is for what who some nakwambia kizungu imekuwa mingi, for what someone undergoing depression is, ni so wrong ama so different. Maybe they are going through it wakiwa tu hivyo, but it's so different compared to what personally I was going through your time. Like it was so different. That's why a lot of people, oops, a lot of people wanasema haukai kama mse alikuwa ana go through that. You don't look like someone who was depressed. Even during that period, I never looked like I was depressed. And kitu ya yenye tulikava last episode ni in a mask. It masks. Depression masks itself, it masks you. So even the people around you will not even notice that you're actually going through shit. They won't. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa the first one. Kuna dem alikuwa ananiambia, like listening to that and knowing who you are, I'm like, these two people, these things are not clicking. And in my mind, I'm like, do you realize just how crazy that is? Because even personally, I couldn't believe I was going through your depression. But also knowing the inaitwaje ile zile vitu za huko ndani, intricacies ama the intricates, the intricate details of what was happening in my life, even being here is a gift. So hiyo ndio ilikuwa kitu ya kwanza. You don't look like it. You don't look like someone who have gone through the things you said you're going through. And a lot of people around you will not look like they're going through depression. Nowadays, men are being even encouraged to show their emotions, to let people know what they are thinking, vitu kama hizo, because wanasema suicide rates are higher in men because they don't show their emotions and things of that sort. Mostly it's because depression kitu ya kwanza itakuficha, itajaribu kabisa vile itaweza to mask you from the people around you. And above everything else, like I said, unapata when you're going through this monster, the constant thought ni, why would I even tell anyone? Everyone else is going through their own problems. Why would I even tell them? Like, why would I even start this conversation? Like some of my friends during your period, pia ulikuwa unapata they have both parents, they have what could have been assumed to be a happy home, but they were going through the same problems I was going through. Like hizo stories za kukosa food for days, hizo stories za unapata, nakwambia sasa ndio tuktuk zimeanza competition. Unapata hizo stories za kukosa even do ya ku print documents where lecturers need them, vitu kama hizo. Like a lot of people were going through the same problems I was going through. So hakuna point ya kuketi uanze kusema woe is me. So that's why I think a lot of people don't show it. And I would think even for men it would be more difficult, especially men who are dependent upon men who are providers na nini, vitu kama hizo. Unapata most of them, they might not want to show you they're going through something, because they're like, you depend on me for your livelihood, you depend on me for your emotional stabilities, whatever. Why would I come back to you and tell you I'm weak on this area, I'm feeling like I'm getting drained on this area? So you don't look like it. that has been a constant feedback from a lot of people. Like, you don't look like someone who went through that. And what I was telling them is the same thing I think I've said for the last 10 minutes. Even when I was going through it, a lot of people couldn't tell, because you utajiplaster ati I'm depressed. You write it across your forehead and then you walk around with everyone saying that you're depressed. The second one imekuwa this one surprised me. Someone someone that I didn't expect asked, why would you be depressed? And I know for a fact, from coming from that person, it is more of a curiosity, because she knew, um, part of she was part of the support system that I had, mostly financial. Remember in the story I was saying that we had sponsors, we had scholarships, but unapata the challenge for me was kulikuwa na ile assumption ya you have relatives and you have people that can step in to take care of some of the financial we need to the financial some of the burdens. So hata wakikutafutia sponsor ama wakikusponsor, they are taking over the tuition, the fees, like the difficult part. Hizo tuition na fees na nini, those are the ones that they were taking over your time. So vitu kama upkeep, vitu kama even just things to manage yourself, shopping nini, hizo hawakuwa wanashughulika. And this person was under hiyo ya scholarships. She was on the side of the scholarships, and she knew, like, ameniandikia check ya the whole semester and the amount and everything. She knew she had covered that. The rest, she believed that it was being covered by my family members. The unfortunate thing was, majority of them ni ile cat and mouse game. Ukienda kuuliza huyu, talk to the other person, talk to the other person, enda uambie sijui nani, enda uambie, after umeongelesha kila mtu, then ukuje uniambie wamepata ngapi so that I can top up. And the challenge with that, ukiwa mtoi, the emotional roller coaster that you are going to go through with everyone telling you, like, ilikuwa tu a lot of discussion. Follow me on this small tangent. Say for example, umeenda kwa relative one, amekwambia, ukamwambia I need 1,000 to go back to school, and nimeshapatiwa check, nimepatiwa kila kitu, I just need 1,000 ya fare na I buy some small shopping to be using uko shule. And then relative one is like, have you talked to relative 2, 3, 4 and 7? And you're like, no, I haven't, but uende uonge nao kwanza, alafu you'll come in, tell me what feedback they've given you. So umetoka kwa relative 1, umeenda kwa relative 2. Hi, I need 1,000 to go back to school, and relative 1 alikuwa amesema in case you guys have something, he can top up the rest. Do you have this? Relative 2 anakwambia, do you remember even sijui when you were going where I sent you money, sijui I did this, sijui I did that. Miss Aizi, I don't have that money because you people are very ungrateful and things of that sort. So umetoka kwa relative 2. You're on your way to relative 3 with a bado hujapata do. So umeenda kwa relative 3 and you're like, hey, I'm looking for 1,000 bob to go back to school and sijapata, like, so far sijapata do. Could you assist me with this? And relative 3 is like, I can only manage 100 bob. So umebaki 900 shillings. Umeenda kwa relative 4. Umemwambia the same story, anakwambia either I have this amount of money, ama they're like, no, mimi sina pesa, sijui nilikuwa nafanya nini na nini, I don't have the money right now, maybe nikutumie mwisho wa mwezi or something. Na sasa it's the beginning of the month and you needed maybe to be in school by tomorrow. So umetoka kwa huyo relative 4, you still don't have even half of what you need to go back to school. So umetoka kwa relative 4, you're on your way to relative 5. Can you imagine in between relative 1 to relative 2, the emotional, the anxiety, the debate that is going on in your mind, because you're like, why do I need to struggle na kuzungushwa hivi from one person to the next, so that I can get maybe 1,000 or something. And then knowing the people that you're dealing with, you're like, by the time I'm getting to relative 2, itakuwa already story ingine. Like hata unajua ukienda kwa mse ukijaribu kuongea naye, the feedback that you're going to get ni it might even cause you more damage than even getting that money. So tulikuwa tumefika kwa relative 5, then utoke kwa relative 5 sijui uende kwa relative so and so, and maybe eventually upate mwingine akupatie 50 bob, mwingine akupatie 2. So far uko na 350. Remember, your target is 1,000 bob, and me being the person that I am, this 1,000 bob was the least amount of money that I needed. Nile nilikuwa najua without this I'm not going to school. Nilikuwa nahesabu like shule nilipe fare ya maybe 4 so, then nifanye shopping ya 6 so. Na hii shopping ya 6 so ni zile vitu sasa naweza semaje, the essentials, like you can't do without. Ni ubuy pads, ubuy maybe 1 or 2 panties, then you buy soap. Na the other one was hata kiwi sikuwa nashindania nikibai sana. Ilikuwaga pad, soap na mafuta ya kujipaka, lotion. I used to buy some lotion. Ilikuwa inaitwa aje, cocoa butter and I said lovely or something. So like ukifanya your calculation, the least, the essentials, the basics, hiyo tu ndio you're looking for. Like you don't want anything more than what is there. So like so far you've gotten the 350. That is fine, that is good. You have your 350 in the pocket. Now you go back to relative 1 and you're like, yes, I've talked to so and so and so and so, and I've managed to get 350. And then this journey back from these other relatives, you start getting hopeful, like I've been able to get the 350, maybe he's going to maybe double it, maybe akupatie 350 pia, ama akuongezee tu zifike thou, like you uko na ka hope like you're going to get something out of this. So you're on your way back na nini, you get back to relative 1, you're like, nimeongea na so and so and so and so, and I've managed to get 350. And then they're like, hata nimekumbuka sijui once upon a time they went above the water, below the mountains and whatever. And then they're like, saizi sioni kama nitaweza, cause you didn't talk to sijui who and who else. You go to tell your brothers, cause hata hao tuliwasomesha, so go talk to them so that you can get the money. And then you're like, before I even came to you, I knew I had brothers and I knew I could ask them for money. Don't you think I would have already, if I, instead ya mimi nijitoche going to all this journey to only get maybe to be demoralized, wouldn't I have just gone directly to them and asked them for the money if they had the money? But anyway, you're still there, you're still humble, you're still hoping. Sasa ni story ya kwanza kubeg, please, sijui nini, please ni you eventually maybe afunguke akupatie kitu kama 200 or something. So right now you have 550 shillings. And that's how most of the time ulikuwa unapata when I'm going to high school, I've paid my fees, imelipwa yote in full to the last penny. Maybe hata nimepatiwa check ya 30k na fees ni ya 20 something. Like it's paid in full to the last coin. But sina hata shopping, cause imagine uko na 550 mbele na nyuma, transport pekee na ni back to school, so you can imagine how crazy it could get. It's around 400 shillings. Sometimes ilikuwa inakuja hadi 3 so sometimes ilikuwa inaenda chini, but hiyo ni transport. Na most of the time when I say transport ni ya to and fro, because unajua hata ukifika shule and then you go, you don't get the money back, the money to take you back home, chances are no one is going to send you the money. Like you can't count on it. So ni lazima ukuwe na hiyo spare kurudi home in case shit happens. So kwa ido yote yenye ulikuwa unahitaji the basics, your 1,000 bob yenye you are to do the basics with, you only have 550. and then you deduct your fare, you only have 150 shillings. So what are you going to buy with this 150 shillings? Unaona how tricky it could get. So for this person who was asking, why would you be depressed? That was, hiyo ndio ilikuwa the main reason. Like, I have, hata when I was at Chuka, I was still, hiyo ndio time niligongwa na depression. I had, my fees was paid for the whole year. Like the whole year I had cleared the fees with a check. Like it was done. It was already done. I didn't need to do anything else when it came to my fees. The problem was hostels. Hiyo story nilikuwa nakupatia kwenda kwa relative 1, 2 and 3 mostly ilikuwa when I was in high school, form 1, 2 and 3. So ukiingia campus ni hostel, ni food, ni nini, hizo vitu zote. So unapata ile basic yenye ulikuwa unataka ile 1,000 bob that you needed to go back to school, now you need 1,000 roughly per week. Na hiyo ni ya basics. Basics. Someone who's been to campus, they can tell you this is the basics. They are 1,000 bob. And the reason I keep saying 1,000 bob, I said in the other episode, ni sikuwaga na smartphone. So most of my money used to go into printing. When you lecturers wakipatiana hizo assignments na nini, you need to print them because you don't have the phone to be using. So yeah, that year, yeah, why would you be depressed? They were looking at it from that angle. Like already you have everything that you needed. Why would you be depressed? And then the other challenge was I think the main challenge with this point was I couldn't go back to now the sponsors and say, the check that you're giving me for the fees, nanini, it's good, but could you please add some few coins so that I can get my upkeep from there. Hiyo ni kitu ingine ilikuwa inanitrigger sana, ilikuwa inanifanya nikuwe anxious because there was a big chance, and I hope I'll get the opportunity to ask that person, the person who asked me this. There was a big chance they would have withdrawn their support because the agreement was, we support you when it comes to your academics, when it comes to tuition, when it comes to anything that you need to be in school, uniform, nini, pencil, whatever, anything that you need to be in school, they will take care of it. But your family is supposed to take care of the rest. That was the agreement. So if your family is not taking care of the rest, my thinking, maybe it would have been different if I told them, but my thinking was, if I raised that issue and told them that this is what is happening, I'm not getting support on this other side, ingeanza kucreate stories zingine za mesi kwa nataka hiyo time, like nilikuwa naona tu zitaniongezea stress. Above it all, unapata even now, I'm sure a lot of people that maybe relatives or close friends, but mostly relatives, would be like, but we helped out. We were helping you out. So I can imagine even back then, if I had gone to them and said, I'm not getting support back at home, I'm not getting assistance from the people that are supposed to assist, itakuwaje? Because itaanza kucreate stories zingine, and then eventually you end up being told you're the one who is lying. So when it came to that, I was like, no, let me just step back. And I'm sure a lot of people, maybe in high school or campus, they would think, because you had everything, like watu wakifukuzwa waende home, aufukuzwi, watu wakifanyiwa nini, nothing is happening for you, they would think you had everything else sorted out. But no, a lot of things were not sorted out. A lot of things were just, zilikuwa tu hivyo. They were just crazy and chaotic. So the other one was, I didn't know you had such a background. Mostly Nambiagwa, you have a very interesting background. I'm a backstory. You have quite an interesting background. And yeah, I think a lot of people do have interesting backgrounds. It's only that, like I said, you won't plaster yourself with where you've come from, or where you the person tuseme kama mi vile nimelelewa kwa orphanage, nimelelewa like I've grown in different type of environments, but yenye imekuwa the most inaweza semaje, the constant one, cause ni since I was I think 10 years old to campus ni orphanage, like the rules of an orphanage, the nini of an orphanage, hizo vitu zote zimekuwa mostly from uh, like that is my story, but I won't walk around with a t-shirt saying I was raised in an orphanage. But most of the time, what I do nowadays, whenever I'm interacting with people, na nini, see the first meeting or the second one, unless it's really relevant, it's normally in our interactions, I'd be like, the second interaction, I'd be like, hi, uh, I was raised by nuns, I was raised in an orphanage, I was raised by this, that, and the next, because it shapes a lot of things about me, including the way you view the world, the things you think of, vitu kama hizo, and how you approach different topics. So I don't want to be in a scenario where I say something and someone thinks, huyu kwenye alitoka wapi. Like I want to give you my where my thinking came from. I'm not even ashamed of that. I'm not even ashamed of vitu kama like being raised in an orphanage or being orphaned at a very young age or vitu kama hizo. I'm not even like I talk about them nowadays as if they're second nature. But for me, whenever I say something to do with being raised in an orphanage or being orphaned young, it's usually a reminder of how far I've come, so that I don't start feeling depressed again. Like how far I've come, man, because it has been a journey. So yeah, I didn't know you had such a background. A lot of people have given me that feedback. I didn't know, and it's okay to not know, because even me being who I am, I don't know about a lot of people's backgrounds. I really don't. And saizi I can say I'm trying to be intentionally conscious of every interaction I'm having with someone. So si ile atu unawajudge tu kwa face value and you think you have everything figured out about them or how they approach things or things of that sort. Nimekuwa nikijaribu to be very conscious about the way people deal with things, about the way people view things, about the people that I'm interacting with, because I have that nini at the back of my mind. I don't know where you're from. I don't know how like sijui shida zako, so I will try as much as possible to not be another problem in your life, which is also why I think I'm finding it very difficult to date people, because anyway, sorry for another day. The other one is a lot of people wameniambia wenye wananijua from that age, they don't remember a lot of the things that I was talking about. Personally, me too. Me too. Because remember when I was in campus, when I was now I started getting depressed, that's when a lot of memories zilianza ku unlock. Even when I was doing, I think, the first two episodes of this, I at some point I was stopping. I didn't want to pause the recording, because you're hit by a memory that you didn't even realize it was there. It was at the back of your mind. You're like, what the fuck, man? Sikuwa nakumbuka hiyo story. Sikuwa naikumbuka at all. And I'm glad for a lot of people when we went through these problems. If your mind decided to forget these things, imagine it's a good thing, because it's usually a survival mechanism. It's a good thing, because me, I think, even during that depression, I was getting worse and worse the moment I started remembering things. So every time I would remember something traumatic, ilikuwa inaleta tu issues zake. So a lot of people during hiyo nini wanasema they don't remember, they didn't remember that type of story, ama they don't have that memory, vitu kama hizo, which is fine. It's fine, because Even my acha niwaite homies, my homies wenye tulikuwa tunakunywa tunakula damu mbichi nao. Well, we've come from far. But then mwaiambia mwai kula chick mash for dinner tukiwa tumekosa food. Huh. Well, that is story for another day. That is another memory. Man. The other thing, now these three things, I want to cover them very fast. I don't want the episodes to be going for like 1 hour all the time. Anyway, these three things, this I can classify as maybe the biggest motivation of why I didn't want to talk about this, Nini, to have this discussion about my depression episode, my life journey, let's say. The main reason ni ile yenye tu nilikuwa nimemention hapo juu, a lot of people who are involved in this in one way or the next, they might either think that the way they participated in my life, the much they did or the little they did, they might think it didn't have any significance, or I'm being ungrateful because I don't remember the good things. I only remember the bad things. Kuna msee amewahi niambia huwa nakumbuka vitu zenye zilinihapenia tu. I don't remember what was happening to the other people. And I'm like, at this moment, when I'm giving this story, I'm giving the story about me, my point of view of the things that were happening, and how I got depressed. I'm not giving the story about who did this, who did that, who didn't do the next, who did. No, it's not about everyone else. This is about me and my point of view. And remember in the last episode where I said the things that I learned about depression, when I remember things as the person who the things were happening to, I might remember them worse than maybe they could have happened. Naweza zikumbuka zikiwa even I don't know. Kama I think last time nilikuwa nasema story ya mmezoeana na yeye na nini akikuita kitu kama ng'ombe ama juzi juzi I was working in Thika and then this guy akachukua simu and the first thing he said uga ng'ombe no. So I'm like the direct translation is ebu ongea we ng'ombe hii, something to do with that sort. Like when you're used to someone, kuna vile language yenyu inakuaga inaitagwaje degrading, like people who are used to each other, like they say military humor where they keep poking at each other or something like that. When someone you're used to someone, you're used to their language, like they talk to you like that, it is not offensive. Akikwambia akikuita ng'ombe ama nini, kuna beshte tunaitanaga aka letu cause like tulikuwa mahali tukasikia maboy wakisalimiana hivyo and from then onwards we just greet each other the same way. For me, like now I chuckle remembering that, but if someone came out of nowhere and then they're like aka, I'll be very pissed off, like why are you insulting me, who are you? So that I'm saying that to say this, maybe the way I remember things knew worse than how they actually happened. But I'm not saying that they didn't happen. Say for example, kuna hii memory that is quite unclear. It's very blurry in my mind, where I was talking about my brother and my grandfather. They were fighting, and then my grandfather went back to the house to get an axe to come and kill my brother. I don't remember if anyone helped him. I don't remember if anyone tried to intervene, but I remember people standing around. I remember people just looking at what was happening, and I remember feeling helpless and crying behind the gate. So this is my memory. This is what happened, and this is my point of view of what happened. And maybe if me telling this story, maybe someone will be like, no, but so and so intervened. No, but so and so alikuja akawatenganisha. I might not remember that. So me, when it comes to telling this story, my biggest fear ilikuwa hiyo. Like a lot of people would think that you're you did not appreciate the little they did to help you out, or the much they did sorry to help you out. And sasa itakaa ni kama you're opening up old wounds, you're being ungrateful, or things of that sort. The other one was I see you differently now. Like a lot of people, after they hear this story, they view you differently. By this, I mean, I'm a very outgoing person, I'm very confident, I'm very curious, and whatever crowd I'm in, I'm usually like I'm engaging with people in a lot of ways. And then I'm not someone who is afraid to say if something is not working out or to give my opinion on something. Like I'm not afraid to do that. And a lot of people who have gone through my similar background like I have, unapataga wakiwa closed off, they're wanaitagwaje? Wanitago, yeah, wapole, ni wapole, they're not aggressive, they're not this, they're not the next, because maybe people think you're undeserving of being vocal or something like that. Ndio here I see you differently now. My biggest challenge ya kutoambiana hii story ilikuwa hiyo. I don't want people to see me differently. I'm still the same person. Like I said, when God said he knew you, he called you by your name before you were even born, me, I think I would have been the same person no matter the circumstances. I would not have been depressed, maybe. I would not have been suicidal, maybe. But I think the person that I am today, I would have been maybe a better version, but I'd still be me. I'll still be me. And still want people to see me as the person that I am. In his story, this is just part of my life growing up. Kuna watu wanasemaga about childhood na nini. I don't like mine. But I can't also say that it was all bad. It was very good. Hata hiyo ndarago yenyewe yenye nilikuwa nasema, even going back depresses me. I still have very great memories of playing with kids in Daragwa, like running in the forest, going to fetch firewood, falling in the rivers with the firewood. Like I have very beautiful memories of the place and of my childhood. I nili enjoy, siwezi sema ati nili enjoy the instances where I forgot what was happening around me, where when we were hanging out with friends. So hiyo ndio nimenotice watu, like I see you differently now. Yeah, I know. I know your perception might change. You're only human, but I would love for people to just see me as I am, the person that you've known. I'm still that person. The other one is better relationships. Um, by better relationships, I mean the people that were already friends that didn't know this thing happened. Unapata, they're a bit more attentive to me, which I'm very grateful for. Very, very. And the thing about this being more attentive, I'm not blaming them for not being before. Because, like I said, I come off as a very strong person. I come off as a very aggressive person. I come off as someone who would speak up when they're being oppressed. So, a lot of people, in a lot of ways, when you're that type of a person, they tend to think, she's going to be okay. Like, she's fine. Either way, akosa ako sawa, cause that is Hannah. But now you find people, if I go silent maybe for a few days too long, they're like, hey, are you okay? Are you good? Do you need anything? Which is so nice. It's so nice because normally people don't ask. And people don't ask not because they don't want to, but because they think you're good. Like the phone calls I've gotten since the first episode went up from my friends, the text, the constant communication, vitu kama hizo, they've gone up, and I'm very appreciative for that, because I'm not a strong independent woman. I'm a huge baby. And I love being loved. Hebu mwenye anasikia hii na anasikia kurusha vibes arushe vibes, cause sis needs to be loved. I need to be cuddled. Lakini nimekaa kabla nikuwe cuddled. I think this is my third year. Come on. I need someone to cuddle me. Hata kama ni kunikado to sleep and then you go back to your place. Oh yeah, please do that and be a man. Be a man, not a woman. I don't want to be cuddled by a woman. I want to be cuddled by a heavy chest and beards. Shy. Anyway, now I think that is that. Better relationships. I think that is that. I think for me that is that. And I love that I was able to share this story. When you're on Eskiza, please share it as widely as possible. Because personally, I think the biggest challenge when I was going through what I was going through was the lack of information. Because a lot of people don't have, like kila mtu, the way they go through depression is different. So unapata a lot of people don't reach out because wana expect maybe utakuwa with inaitwaje marks za kujikatakata mikono, something like that. Yeah, so that is that. I think that is the things that I've learned when the first episode went up from my friends na nini, it'll still be good. Hapo pa attentive pia, I've also been able to get a few lunch dates with with friends, with family, with people who are more than family. Yes, nimepata a few lunch invites here and there, which is I'm very appreciative of, because like I said, a lot of people think you're a strong, independent woman, kumbe you're just a big teddy bear. So thank you for listening to this. I know I've rambled for majority of it, but I felt like it was important for me to also cover the things that I've learned from my me sharing my story, and I'm glad that I shared the story. So thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode. Bye.